Hello, my name is Starla Henderson, and I'm with Fronterhouse Quilts blog, and today we are going to begin working on the flower that I named Mary Ann. This flower is also an iris. It's just another view of the iris, another look at it, and it's got several parts, and this is for our spring sampler that we are still working on, and we're going to talk about all the different parts, and we're going to first do today this stem and this petal right here. So here we go. Whenever I do flowers, or do anything really, I number them. And on this one, and you can look on your pattern, I have numbered them. I go first and I look and I see what is going to be the very first thing that I want to applique, to layer it. These are layered designs. And the first thing that needs to be appliqued in this flower are this little stem portion here, like what we did in Beverly. This has one too. And then this very first petal. That's what we're going to call 1A in this group. Because there's actually a round of flowers that are all one, but today we're going to do these two. Also, we're going to talk about this. This portion is in the very center of several other petals, and you're actually appliquing over it. So I went on ahead and I have back basted it in place so it's held where we want, and when we get to that, we will be layering the flower petals on top of this. But I back basted it in place and trimmed it out to 1/4 of an inch. So today we're starting off with this back basted, this very first one. I labeled it as 0 because you're not really, it's not really going to be appliqued. It's going to be appliqued on top of. And then we're going to go and work on these two. So the way we do this, and I've tried to give you thread that you can see and a needle that you can see. This one is very simple. We've done this before, and I'm just going to take you to where let me clip that. Alright, before I clip this, I'm going to draw. I like a line. With the back basting method, you usually don't use a line, but I like one, and I use these Soline pencils. They're ceramic pencils. There's others out there that are ceramic as well, but they just come right off. So for dark fabrics, I use white, and for lighter fabrics, I may use just a regular pencil, just a cheap mechanical pencil, or another Soline that's dark. Okay. For this very first one, I am going to be, I'm just going to take you up to the point, clip this basting, alright. I'm just going to start. I've trimmed it out to 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to go in right here at the beginning, bury my knot in that fold, and I'm going to start appliquing up. Okay, as you can see, we're almost now to the point. I'm going to take one more stitch before I get there. I'm sorry, I'm a little awkward with this bigger needle. It's not an applique needle, but I have to use it for filming so you can see. Okay, as you get to that point, you're going to go right in. You can't hardly tell it here, but here's the line for this point, and I folded it on this line. So you're coming in where that V meets, right on the inside of it. You're going to come in. Now I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to pin this thread, I do this all the time, out of my way. That way, hopefully, I won't accidentally clip it while I'm trimming out Now, this is a lot of fabric right here, you can see, and I've got this little tail. So before I do this, I am going to just trim it back just a little bit, because I don't want to have to try and stuff all of that into that point. Okay. And turn it and pull. Pull this out of the way. And I pulled it to get it pulled back into shape. And now I'm just going to keep stuffing all down, and I'm going to go ahead and take another stitch coming in where that point is, where I just came out, or pretty close to it. Take a tiny little bite, as tiny as I can get, to secure that. I'll take a couple of tiny stitches, and that will secure my point. Okay, that's done. Now, the rest of this is simple. You're just going to go the rest of the way down this side and knot off. Now, for this petal, I'm going to thread another needle and show you the next petal. This next petal, I'm going to start where I want to show you. Most of this petal here is soft inside curves and outside curves. This is a real soft inside curve. You're going to have to clip it in 2 or 3 places and just needle turn it. But I'm going to start here because this is a tight inside curve, and it's done the same way. You just clip it tight, closer together, and show you how to do that. And we've done soft inside curves and outside curves before, so this shouldn't be anything extremely new to you. If you've already done Beverly, you've done these. Okay, I'm going to turn it, and we're going to work our way towards this little rounded nub of this petal. And I used a marker that you can see on this one, so you can see my lines. Sometimes those basting threads just want to jump up in your way, so clip them off. Okay. And I'm just going to keep right on stitching. Hopefully you can see this. Here we go. And as you're turning around these little curves like this, you're going to be taking tiny, tiny little stitches, because you're going to turn it until it literally goes off of your piece. And this is a really tiny one. I mean, I'm not even taking 1/8 of an inch from this little bite. Okay, I'm going to turn a little bit more, and again, it's a little bit more than the one before, but it's still just a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch probably. Okay, you're going to have to turn your work too, because you have to have it where you can get to it and hold it. And I'm holding it with my thumb right where I'm wanting to turn it. Actually, my thumb is actually making that shape, and then my finger, my pointer, is underneath holding it. Alright, and I'm going to take a hold of that. Actually, I'm getting into a spot where I really need to clip. So I'm going to clip my thread out of the way, pull this out. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to go ahead and trim this just a little bit more. It'll make it a little easier to turn, to make it just a little bit narrower seam allowance. And now I'm going to start clipping. Because into this turn, and you clip right up to the line. This is the turn starting. You don't want to clip into the line. And I'm probably clipping just a little over 1/8 of an inch. And my scissors don't want to clip. Let's try these. And this one is going to be even tighter. And if, as you're sewing, it's not close enough, clip it again. And I clipped all of them because that way I don't have to stop and take off my thimble and clip again. Just makes it go a little more smoothly. Okay, now I'm going to start turning again. And I turn just a little, and I've got this shape where I want it. I'm using my needle as my tool, and I'm going to take a stitch. Again, that's probably a little over 1/8 of an inch is all I've moved. Now I'm going to take that first clip and I've turned it all the way under. Take a stitch. I'm going to take the next clipping and I tuck it under. Tuck it really good. Now I'm going to take a couple of stitches because I've got actually a little bit longer place there that I can stitch into. But I'm still taking tiny stitches. That's the key on this, is to take tiny stitches. Take another bite. There we go. And you're just going to keep turning this as you go around. And pull that out. Okay. And you can see my stitches because I am using a thread. I want you to see them. I want you to see what I'm doing here. Okay. Again, I'm going to clip this out of my way. Now we're coming into that next outside curve. We finished this inside curve. And you're just going to keep right on moving. And remember, as you do an outside curve, just like we did this one over here, you turn until all of a sudden it's coming off of that curve. It won't turn anymore onto your line. And you stitch up to that point. Let me see if I can show you what I mean a little better here. Hold on. See, I've turned it. I'm going to keep turning it. It comes up to here to the line. Well, then this fold is coming off of my line. If you can see, it comes up, and then this fold's going off of my line. That shows me that I can stitch up to that point, to where that starts to veer off of the line, and then I'm going to need to tuck and turn some more. So then I will take this and I will turn a little bit more. And you just keep working it like that. You turn on that curve until the fabric is pulling and it won't turn and stay on your drawn line. And that's how you do an outside curve. So we've done a point, we've done a little bit of an inside curve here, a tight inside curve here, a really tight outside curve, and we've started into a loose one. And that's all there is to this petal here, and that is the first part of our iris that I named Mary Ann. So next time we will go on to the next round in this first layer of this flower. Thank you for joining me. This is Starla Henderson with Fronterhouse Quilts blog.